Good evening, everybody. My name is Simon Hall, and it gives me great pleasure to be part of a double act this evening to tell you all about this great company called Forever Living. And to waste no time, I'm going to introduce you to the first speaker of the evening, Cherry Hornsby.
Good evening, everyone. I really enjoy presenting our business opportunity to new people because Forever is one of those things that has completely changed my life. 19 years ago, I was a mum at home with 3 little children. We'd just lost a business, and I have to say my blinkers were off and my mind was wide open to a new way to earn a living. With 3 little children, it wasn't quite so simple to go back into my old career. Very luckily for me, we came in touch with Forever Living. I tried some of the products and it took away my backache. And you know what? From that simple beginning, we've now got a business that goes around the world. I routinely get paid out of 29 different countries around the world, the most recent one being Thailand, very exciting. And it's earned enough money to partly privately educate my children, allow them to have horses, and I have to say, a great life. So what I'm going to be showing you now is a little bit like what I saw when I first came across this company with my now ex-husband. And I think this is the first challenging statement, which is, like it or lump it, the truth is you can't change your life if you don't change your thinking. So, life today, eh? Not the life they all thought we'd have, of relaxation and leisure, everybody working part-time. Oh, couldn't be further from the truth, could it? People being routinely expected to work very long hours, the longest hours in Europe, not much fun. The roads are incredibly busy, especially at going to work and coming home times. The 0 hours contract is now considered really quite normal, and that means they just have you when they want you and don't pay you when they don't. And pension options, I don't know if anybody seriously thinks about their pension when they're sort of young and just starting out in the workplace, but it comes as a little bit of a shock. I had my shocking letter last year, and it says, Mrs. Hornsby, we're proud to tell you can retire when you're 67 and you can get £500 a month. And I thought, I'm so glad that I earn vastly much more than that for the life of my dreams, because I don't think £500 a month is going to make it. So let's take a look at some of the needs that we have simultaneously to our lifestyle. We need something, a way of working that could give us, a bit more time off. And I certainly came into this business just for the money. Whatever else anybody says about this business, it was really only the cash that interested me. It's so lovely to have gone past that point in my life, to have become debt-free, and actually I'm now financially independent. More and more people are realizing that you get the best out of people with flexibility, and letting people work from home is a great way to have a business. And success, whatever that means to you, is different for everybody. And we're exceptionally lucky inside Forever, because not only do you get a better wealth, but it also allows you to have much, much better health. But even if you haven't got the full Monty yet, if you know you're on the right path, at least you get the most important thing in the middle there, which is peace of mind. So what about the Forever story? Forever was started by one man, and Rex Morn is still the owner of this company, him and his family. And Rex was used to very big business, but his aim was to find a small business model that just ordinary people like all of us could copy and follow. And what we're going to be sharing with you now just shows he was right. Forever is a brand leader. That's one of the things he set out to become. He didn't want just to be in any old company. He wanted to be a company that stood for great values, that had family values, and was a brand leader in its field, and it's done that many times over. We're 36 years old now, and I love our mission statement, which you may think at a glance is a bit cheesy, but the fact is it's true. We create a profitable environment where individuals can, with dignity, be what they want to be, and where integrity, empathy, and fun are our guides. That's really nice. I have to say, in 19 years, I found it to be just like that. Well, here's one of our lovely head offices around the world. We've got over 150 of these, by the way. This is the one in America, in Scottsdale, Arizona. The company's turnover is now in excess of $2.6 billion, and our home office is one of the many assets that we have around the world, well in excess of 1.5 billion assets. Now, it doesn't say how many distributors, but I'm going to tell you anyway. It's over 9 million distributors in those 150 countries. So, if you're getting the picture, who's doing something right? Rex was wise enough to know he couldn't know the answer to everything, so he surrounded himself with a group of wise people who could find the answers for him. And we are a company that is both cash-rich and debt-free. How unusual is that? Now, this is what's been happening in the forever world over the last 30 years. You know, we've been experiencing pretty consistent growth. Hard to imagine that we've never experienced a microwave oven, a tsunami, or many other things. We've had a war and hurricanes and all kinds of things, but yet forever continues to go from strength to strength because enough of the right kind of decisions are being made to carry us forward. And closer to home, here's a picture of our head office in the UK. We've been here not quite as long as we have in other parts of the world. We've been here since 1993. Our current UK sales grew by 27% last year to arrive at some £50 million worth of sales. If I tell you, for the first 6 months of this year, year on year to last year, we're up 49%. Isn't that incredible? That even though we're over 20 years old, we're growing at such a phenomenal rate. And we have these very prestigious awards down at the bottom. This is independently given to us by the government for the way in which we interact with distributors and staff. We have the Investor in People Award, not at the ordinary level, but at gold standard. And we've had this 4 times now. And we also have been awarded champion status. Only 15 companies in the whole of the UK have this, so it's quite special. And we are award-winning members of the Direct Selling Association. So I'm sure you can see that Forever is a company that believes in doing things right. Now, it's my pleasure to tell you a little bit about the products. I have to say this is what did it for me. Okay. Now, my favourite's not actually in that slide, but we'll be seeing it in a little while. But here are some interesting facts about Forever. We are the world's biggest cultivated aloe vera grower. We are also the world's biggest beekeepers. We've been green from day one. We've never used insecticides or pesticides or fertilizers on or near our crops. We only use the inner leaf gel. That's the part that has the goodness in it. So it's in some respects a little like a banana in that respect, that we just use the good bit in the middle. At the end of the day, it is a fruit or a vegetable, and if you pick it, it'll deteriorate. And we have what's called a patented stabilization process using only natural ingredients, which give the product a shelf life and ostensibly keep it as if it were just straight from the leaf. We produce really good quality products. So this isn't the 2 for the price of 1 department, but this is absolutely superior quality products. Oh, sorry, wrong button. Now, many of us who arrive with Forever don't really know much about the products, me being one of them. And we have the backup of a professional advisory board. These guys use the products and they endorse the products and they run fantastic trainings for us, the distributors. We have Dr. Peter Atherton, a former GP. He's also done a sabbatical at Queen's College, Oxford, researching the effects of aloe vera and leg ulcers, and is really a leading authority on the effects of aloe vera on the human body. Dawn Parker is a nutritionalist and beautician with a great wealth of experience. And David Urch is a vet. David accompanied the equestrian team to the Beijing Olympics, so also has a huge knowledge on how aloe interacts with animals. Now, the product approval, just for a second, just think, we have a 60-day money-back guarantee. We've seen explosive growth, and the company's grown consistently for all these years, 36 years. You know what? These products are just going to work, haven't they? We have, first of all, the certificate over here is the International Aloe Council Seal of Approval. Next door to it is the Islamic Society, the kosher rating, and halal. We're also animal friendly, and we don't test our products on animals. In fact, they're used to help animals. So really a superb kite marks for our product range. Now, these are some of the areas that we have superior quality products that fit into these areas. I'm not going to read them to you all. You can see them all there. But it means that we can kind of mix and match our careers, if you like. Some people will be interested in one area particularly, others possibly in all. So there's something there for everybody. Now, who buys them? It's a natural question to want to ask, isn't it? And the answer truly is that our products are suitable for everybody at any age. So in theory, potentially, everybody we know is a potential customer. Now, there's a box of products here, you can see, and the one slap bang in the middle is the one that really caught my full attention. As you can see, a yellow bottle. It doesn't look very interesting. It tasted very unusual. I I can remember ringing the person who sold it to me and said, "Are you sure I'm supposed to drink this?" But just 4 days later, I had no more backache, and that was really unusual. And after 4 days of no more backache, it was no longer a fluke. And I've been drinking it for 19 years, except now I've transferred over to the Blue Top one. I have to say it tastes no better, but oh, it works so incredibly well. It makes your body feel wonderful. So that is my absolutely top of the pops product, and it is indeed our bestseller too. Now there's a couple of other products here which I'm going to tell you a little bit about. One is the Arctic Sea Fish Oil. Fish oil is a form of fatty acid. It's incredibly good for you, whether it's for your joints, a bit like WD-40 for your joints for humans, or whether it's because your brain is largely made of fatty acid and it helps your mind and sharpens your focus, or because it's really good for your skin. It's really good for you, and it makes a big difference when you take it. Or our pollen over on the other side, which is one of our beehive products. Pollen gives you extra energy, as well as being really helpful for people who have hay fever. It gives you extra energy, and on busy days, oh, this is just great. If you're thinking, I'd like to have a biscuit, don't do that. Have some pollen instead, and you'll find it's exactly the same job. Now, the cost of getting involved with our business is really the cost of the products you can see here. It's a box of bestsellers, and 20 of our bestsellers that the company put together in a pack, complete with the literature you need to get yourself started. And it costs £199.75. That's been discounted to help you get going. This isn't for joining the company. This isn't for nothing. This is actually for a box of products for you to try out yourself, because I think most of us with a shred of integrity need to feel what we're promoting is really good. Otherwise, we wouldn't be wanting to do it. And so that's how we all get involved with the company. So I'm going to hand you over now and hand back to Simon, who's going to tell you how we turn that box of products into a great income opportunity. Thanks, Simon.
Thank you, Cherry. Well, I have to say, when I looked at Forever Living over 3 years ago now, I was probably completely underwhelmed with the products. However, what I would say, once I started to use them, I actually realised how much my life, my health has benefited. Would I change? Never. So it was a real eye-opener for me, and I had to take my blinkers off and realise that there's some very, very good products that Forever Living can produce. Certainly I'll never be without them now. Now, when I was looking at Forever over 3 years ago, I was looking for a business opportunity. I've come from a traditional business background and had various businesses of mine, very successful in that. But by the stage that I was looking at Forever, I didn't have the finances available. So I was really stuck, but neither did I want to run a business that took up all my working life. I've done that before. I had lots of money, but I had little time which to sort of enjoy it. And certainly I had enough of being an employee because I felt I couldn't really contribute in the way or develop in the way that I wished to. So I was really open for change, and this came knocking on my door. And I have to say, 3 years down the line, I haven't looked back since. In fact, I'll tell you some of the things that I've been very fortunate and privileged to be part of over that 3-year period. Now, one of the key things when we're looking at this business for the first time is understanding, is the market there to actually develop? Well, you've already seen that the UK turnover is in excess of £50 million. But when you compare it to some of these market-leading figures, some of the main markets that we deal in, it's fairly small fry. So you can see it's a real opportunity to develop further. And there are actually 3 ways in which we can gain an income from Forever. And the first way is by finding some customers. But of course, you do need to use the products yourself. What I mean by that is be your own best customer, because how can you genuinely recommend something if you haven't tried it? So where can we find these customers? They are literally anywhere. Maybe at a place of work, maybe down our leisure time, our friends and family, people we love and know. Or if you're a mum, you could find them at the school gate. People are simply everywhere. So as you sort of build up a small retail business, and I say small, this is what it can look like. So we're looking actually to develop a small retail business between 20 to 30 customers. Now this takes probably about 10 hours a month, and it's exactly the same for Cherry, exactly the same for myself. But by doing that, we can then generate an income between £200 to £400 per month. Now that can make a phenomenal difference to a family that's right on the edge of just covering their bills, or maybe not, because it could actually pay that shortfall in the mortgage, or it could pay to simply put food on the table, or maybe that holiday that they haven't had for a long time. It can change lives, certainly can. So that's one way we can generate and find an income. The second way, of course, is by team building. And this is all about time leverage. This is where the difference was from my previous traditional businesses. So let's imagine you right in the center there. That's you. How can we actually build a team and develop it and use this time leverage? Because remember, this is about a business about you and your team all doing a little bit. So if we simply use the products, have some customers, and then simply find 2 other people to do the same, our team starts to grow. And in turn, we train those 2 to do the same as us, use the products, have some customers, find 2 people. We can soon see how our team starts to multiply out. Not only our team multiplies out, on the right-hand side, you also have a customer base that's increasing. But remember, you're still just dealing with your 20 to 30 customers. So before long, you can have a team of 30 team members. And very simply, we work on a philosophy: the more people you help, the more you will earn. This business is all about helping people. Now, have a team of this size with probably about 600 customers, you are looking in forever terms at a manager business. Now, for part-time hours, i.e. about 10 to 20 hours per week, or it can be less in some cases and can be more in others, you can expect to gain an income between £800 to £2,000 per month, part-time. Now that's pretty powerful. So if you have got rid of your boss at this stage, what can you do with your extra hours in your life? Have more quality time with your family. It's a great way. So if we could do it for, say, 2 people, could you imagine finding a further 3? What would that look like? Well, straight away, your customers on your right are multiplying, and obviously up to 100. And of course, those 5 find another 5 each, and you've got 25, and those 25 find 5 each, 125. And those 125 buy 5 each, 625 in your team. I have to say that at this stage, probably some of those team members you won't even know, and probably they'll be in other countries at the same time. And it's fair to say that a team of this size, it would probably mean that you are financially secure for the rest of your life. And this can all be achieved over a 2 to 5 year period of consistent effort. So what happens next? That's the second way we would gain an income. The third way is from a royalty style. And this is actually all about identifying leaders in your team. And by doing that and developing those leaders into manager businesses in their own rights, you will expect, or forever will pay you an additional income royalty. Now these managers could be anywhere in the UK. They could be anywhere in those 150 plus countries worldwide. So as you see, we are now sitting at home, all sort of cozy, and the reality is you can have a business worldwide but never leave your front door. Isn't that amazing? So what does the marketing plan look like as you develop that team of leaders and managers in your team? Well, as you can see, to start with, a manager can expect a typical income around about £30,000. I must stress that all these positions can be done on part-time hours. Senior manager, that's where you've discovered or identified and also nurtured 2 other people frontline to you to become managers. That's 45,000. Soaring, that's 5 managers. That's 70. Sapphire manager, that's 9 managers. That's 100,000. And by the way, you were speaking to, or a Sapphire manager was speaking to you earlier, because Cherry is a Sapphire manager. Diamond Sapphire, there's 2 of those in the UK. It's 17 individually introduced managers. Now, £200,000 a year. Now, that you're now in the top 1% earners in the UK. That's the first thing. But the most important thing, you wouldn't have the stressful life that most of those 200k earners would have. You have a life of choice, and that does make a difference. And finally, Diamond Manager, it's 20 individually sponsored managers. It says £350,000 on the slide, but I can assure you the Diamond Manager that's based in the UK earn a lot more than that. Now, the wonderful thing when Rex put Forever together, he looked to this business to encourage people to do more. So as Jerry will put it, he gives carrots and then more carrots. And one of these great opportunities is the Earned Incentive Program. This is an opportunity for you to gain an additional £6,300 per year to buy the car of your choice. In fact, you don't actually buy your car. Buy whatever you like. Buy a boat if you want. But you have the choice to do that. Isn't that nice that 3 years down the line you don't give your car back, you keep it. Your business is still turning over, it automatically gets renewed year on year. Now this is something I discovered joining Forever, that I could start to have holidays. I had very few holidays before, and for me going on holiday was a bit of a rarity. But since I've been with Forever, I've been very fortunate to travel to some worldwide destinations, including Hawaii, and also to Phoenix, Arizona itself. And this is open to everyone who reaches that manager status. In fact, you also have an opportunity for some spending money as well. And when it says luxury hotels, those hotels I've stayed in are certainly luxury. You are treated very, very well. And finally, there's also Global Chairman's Bonus. Now this is designed for, once again, those manager businesses to gain a share in some of the profits that Forever have. Rex is a very generous man. He doesn't have to do this, but he does this by choice. And these checks range from, as you can see, just over 2,000 to 528,000 on this particular slide. But Cherry and I have recently come back from one of our global rallies. In fact, it was local to home. It was actually in London this year, the O2, and we saw cheques given away for larger sums of money than this. In fact, the couple on the right-hand side picked up a cheque for about £700,000. Not bad, is it, working part-time? So at this point, I was getting very excited. But I then thought, well, where can I find my team? But literally, they are everywhere. From graduates, there's 55 graduates per one graduate placement. Where do the other 54 go? How about that revolving door of employment? Certainly from when I started working, when I felt I joined and there's no stress, just turned up and did my work and went home and kept working there. These days, of course, we know about 0-hour contracts, very, very short-term contracts. And simply it's much more difficult to maintain some sort of stabilization within the employment market. Our overall population in the UK are getting older, but unfortunately the thing is there are not many pension options available to look after people. We heard what Cherry said earlier about the national state pension for her. Not £500 a month is not going to give you your life of your dreams. And of course the family. Even though the cost of living has gone up, incomes have not gone up to obviously counterbalance that particular rise. And that gentleman in the top right-hand corner, I probably meet and talk to people on a daily basis who are genuinely fed up, or even to the point of hating what they do in their jobs. There's so much opportunity for you to obviously develop your forever business. So how do we build a team? Well, very simply, we identify those potential team members. Remember, you do all this with the support of the person who introduced you to the business. Then you simply contact and show, give them a little bit of information, and then invite them on to a business presentation, maybe just like this one online this evening. We also have lots of business presentations right across the UK in person too. And if they like what they see, they simply get started. And that business cycle looks just like this. Now, if you want to build your team slowly, you'll be going around this circle very slowly, maybe once a year or once a month. If you want to build it quick, you'll be going around it once a week, once a day. It's totally down to you how you build your business and at the speed you build it at. One thing that Forever attracts are people from all walks of life. There is no specific variety of person that fits best. As you can see from this slide, we've got doctors, traditional business owners, hairstylists. We have mums at home, farm managers, surveyors, and traditional business investors, particularly with a low rate of interest, which we are still having at this moment. Forever provides an ideal opportunity in which to start a business at a very low level, but develop it way beyond your wildest dreams. So what are the benefits joining Forever? Let's just recap. First of all, it's a proven business model. The income is only capped by you. It's willable to your family or wherever you want to will it to. The hours are completely flexible. It works around you, not you around it. You get full training support, so you may not be an expert in the health and wellness industry, but don't let that stop you. Most important thing is, can Forever help you to find and actually realize your dreams and goals. And you're recognized and appreciated. You're actually treated as a person, not as a number. When I first joined Forever, I have to say it was a real shock to see that people actually recognize me, not as some employee. So the question for you is, will it work for you too? Now, even though the investment is only £199.75, you do need to take it seriously. Treat it as if you invested £50,000, because any new venture deserves serious time and effort to make it work. You have to be self-motivated. You also need to be willing to work with an open mind and learn from others who are already in the business. Embrace change. Tell everybody about what you're doing. Do not hold back on that. Now, the fourth one was the one I really struggled with. Was you have to be willing to think big, dream big, and set goals. Because without goals, you never know if you ever reach them. So that tells you a little bit about the income opportunity that's available through Forever Living. So what are the next steps? Well, first and foremost, you register. You get your name on the company payroll. Now, this can be done two ways. It can be done, obviously, in paper format, or it can be done online. You simply then order your new distributor pack, because I said to you earlier, without actually trying the products, how can you honestly recommend them to other people? And that business pack you see in the picture is also free as part of that pack. And finally, book your business planning meeting. This is the time for really to let your dreams run wild. Set your goals, make them scary. Because if you never write them down and never see them in front of you, they will never, ever materialize. Forever can deliver, can you? So we're back to that circle we saw earlier. Your future. Can you now see something in it for you? Whether it's a lifestyle, financial independence, a new way of working, or success, or health, or simply having that peace of mind that you are actually in control of your life instead of someone else controlling it for you. Thank you for listening tonight, and I'll leave you with this phrase because this is really important as you mull over what you've seen. You do need to change your thinking, because that in turn will help you to change your actions. And of course, it will change your life. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.